Inside, a chorus of teens singing hymns. Our undercover team included the actual mother of a gay teen from Washington State, accompanied by ABC News producer Brian Epstein. They arrived to meet with the man who calls himself Brother Gary, Gary Wiggins, the executive director of the so-called Academy for Troubled and Disenfranchised Youth.
I know we talked on the phone previously.
Yes, ma'am.
And you know that my main concern is that my son believes he's a homosexual.
I've had some boys who come in the program before that the parents have told me the same thing you've told me, that he says he's queer. One way or another, we're going to get a handle on it. You know, this boy here claims to be homosexual, and I don't know if he is or not.
During his preaching, sometimes Brother Gary would say to the boys, "That's just queer. What are you, queer? You faggot, son?"
One former teacher, Rodney Pinkston, said he warned Lucas when he arrived to be very careful around Brother Gary.
I said, well, Brother Gary doesn't like the fact that boys would be that way with other boys here. If you are that way, don't do anything.
But Brother Gary told us he had a huge record of success with his methods. So
you get quite a bit of feedback then on how successful this line of redirection is?
Yes, I do.
And what is your success?
If I had to guess out of 100, I'd say probably 80.
So what do they do to try to convert you?
The Bible. Read these passages about how wrong homosexuality is. Write this down 100 times. It's one of the great sins of the flesh. It's evil.
It's not right. It's not right. It's going against the Word of God. It is not biblically right, and no matter what he says or what anybody else says, it's not right.
If you ever want to have a relationship with your parents again, you're going to drop this choice that you made. You made the choice to be gay, so now you need to make the choice to go back to being straight.
And Lucas says, in the short time that he was here, Brother Gary moved from the Bible to the belt when he resisted.
Well, you know you got to turn straight, right? No, not going to happen. Well, then we're going to try to make you.
Took a belt?
Yeah, took off his belt, started swinging. I'm going to beat the gay demon and the Catholic occult out of you.
Those are Brother Gary's words.
Yes. I had big marks all over my back, on my leg. Actually, I had them on my arm, too. I had my hand when I grabbed it.
Through his lawyer, Brother Gary said he has never assaulted any young men under his care in any way and requires parents to give written permission to strike their children, what he calls swats.
I wouldn't do it just because he says he's queer. I'm not going to do that.
Right.
It's got to be something. It's got to get to the point where he's doing something really bad.
Right.
What he calls it a swat, what do you call it?
I call it child abuse.
So we got cows and then we got chickens here.
On a tour of the facility, Brother Gary told our undercover team he likes to keep his boys here for a year or two and charges $21,000 a year.
Then we got a doctor we use and a dentist we use.
In the last 3 years, he has taken in close to $1 million.
It's very disturbing to me that one man can be in charge of a whole camp like this and run it the way he runs it and has no oversight.
Under Alabama's religious freedom law, neither Brother Gary, nor the Blessed Hope Boys Academy, nor anyone working here is required to be licensed or in any way supervised, because it's all considered part of a church ministry.
He's ruling by fear. He can swat them. He can do whatever means it takes, he said, to get compliance. Of course they're afraid of him. I call it abusive. It's spiritually abusive, it's physically abusive, it's in many ways abusive.
Our background check on Brother Gary found that Gary Wiggins has a criminal record going back to the 1990s, including convictions for assault and the sale and possession of cocaine. But Wiggins claimed to our undercover team he works closely with the local sheriff, who he said helps round up teens when they try to escape from the camp.
Because sometimes they will run. I mean, this boy here has run on me before. This boy right here. He has actually run off on me before, and the law brought him back.
But Lucas did not need to escape from here. A few days after resisting Brother Gary and causing so much trouble, Lucas was being moved late at night to a new Christian ministry across the state line in Florida. When the staff stopped for gas at a bathroom break, Lucas made his break.
I waited for the guy to get out of the car. I climbed right over to the driver's seat, opened the door, walked out, and I took off running.
They were running after you?
Yeah. I ran into a construction site, jumped the fence, basically stayed in the construction site overnight. Made it to the next little town over, and I knocked on the guy's door, and I told him, hey, this is what happened. I need you to call the police.
I'm Brian Ross from ABC News.
When we first met William Knott, he showed us the hair-trigger temper that so frightened the teens under his control.
We've been trying to get a hold of you.
I don't want to talk to you.
Why not?
I'll tell you that because I don't like you.
But now at the Circuit Courthouse in Mobile, Alabama, it was a much different William Knott, finally facing justice, on trial along with two others for child abuse at the so-called Christian academy they ran.
They want to bring in these kids from all over the country, far away from their real homes. They keep them there through abuse and coercion. They're making money off of the families.
The case was prosecuted by Assistant District Attorney Keith Blackwood.
This case is very important for Mobile County and for Alabama and really the country because these types of quote schools, and I use that very loosely, but these types of places seem to pop up all over the place.
And arriving at the courthouse to be a key witness against Knott, Lucas Greenfield, the gay teen who says he was beaten and abused by Knott so many times, reunited with the now retired police captain, Charles Kennedy, who helped to rescue Lucas.
This is payday. You have the power to tell people what they did, expose the evil these people stood for.
Lucas and 5 other teens, gay and straight, took the stand, coming face to face with the man who they say so abused them. Was it difficult to face down, Will Knott?
At first.
Why?
Because he tried to give me that little stare, that evil little man stare, like, I'm gonna do something, but he couldn't do anything.
You told the truth?
Yes.
And what did you say?
Exactly what happened. I told him about the beatings, I told him about the abuse, I told him about everything.
Alabama courts permit video recording, but no audio.
The handcuffs, the shackles, the isolation.
Lucas's testimony is extremely important to the trial. The main reason is because he was one of the first witnesses that was willing to tell the truth about what happened. They were being threatened, and Lucas was one that finally said, something can be done this time. We need to tell the truth, and that's what happened.
Mobile County jurors heard from child abuse victims today.
And testimony in this case resumes tomorrow with more witnesses from the state.
After 5 days of testimony, the case went to the jury.
It's like a weight lifted off, and it's also it brings a lot of peace to me to know that for what I do is I stand up for what's right and what I believe in, and this was definitely something that I needed to do.
And then the verdict, guilty on all counts. Knott and the other so-called Christian pastors taken away in handcuffs, sentenced to 20 years in prison. A sentence Judge Charles Graddick told 2020 was more than warranted given the crimes committed.
Very disturbing, Brian.
And the sentence was severe, 20 years.
Yeah, and I'm not so sure it wasn't severe enough. I hope that this sentence goes out across wherever these places might exist to let prosecutors and judges and others know that these people can be prosecuted and severely punished.
Conversion therapy has been widely discredited.
Discredited practice of conversion therapy.
Across the country, even for those places where brutality is not an issue, so-called gay conversion therapy remains highly controversial. In Washington, senators demanded to know how President Trump's nominee for Secretary of Education, Betsy DeVos, stood on the issue.
It has been shown to lead to depression, anxiety, drug use, homelessness, and suicide, particularly in LGBT youth. Mrs. DeVos, do you still believe in conversion therapy?
Senator Franken, I've never believed in that.
But her Republican Party at its convention last year appeared to tacitly endorse the concept, supporting the right of parents to determine the proper medical treatment and therapy for their minor children. just like the language the Family Research Council uses to defend the legality of therapy for gay teens.
I don't think it should be illegal because we allow parents to make a lot of decisions for their children regarding their medical care. We do not delegate to minors the ability to make these adult decisions.
You call this medical care?
Well, I call it a form of mental health care.
There's a mental disorder they're trying to cure. That's what you're saying.
Well, if someone is experiencing something mentally, like same-sex attractions, that is causing distress, then that's a mental health issue.
I'm a Christian, a conservative, and a Republican in that order.
And the Family Research Council says it hopes efforts to make the therapy illegal will stop under the Trump administration. And you think they support your view?
Well, I hope they support my view.
When Mike Pence ran for Congress in Indiana in the 1990s, his campaign agenda included this: resources should be directed toward those institutions which provide assistance to those seeking to change their sexual behavior. According to the vice president's spokesperson, Mr. Pence did not and does not support gay conversion therapy. But it is the continued belief that there is a way to change a teenager's sexuality that led to the places where Lucas Greenfield and others were so abused.
Me liking guys over girls, that's what messed up my whole life.
Adopted at age 3, essentially abandoned at age 13, and through his ordeal with one brutal Christian pastor after another, there was only one adult Lucas would come to trust.
He showed me that there are still good people out there that will do whatever it is necessary to help you.
The Alabama police captain who put his career on the line to help, becoming the father figure Lucas wishes he had had.
He went beyond being a police officer. He went beyond being a Christian. He went beyond anything.
And Lucas did not know it, but as Kennedy worked to expose what was happening, Lucas and others were helping to fill the hole in the captain's heart after the death of his own son, Sean, from a serious illness.
I miss him.
And in a way, this is a mission on behalf of Sean.
That's right. Because children should be treated decently. They should never have to suffer like this.
And now a look at a special 2-hour edition of 2020 next Friday, the bone-chilling story of the infamous cult leader Charles Manson, the puppet mastermind behind the murder of actress Sharon Tate and 6 others.
It's still relevant tonight as we now dig into the psychology of how ordinary people can be brainwashed into doing something reprehensible. How can they follow the leader with no remorse?
He said, the first time I came as Jesus, this time I'm coming as the devil.
Every one of you out there has tried to kill me and I'm still here. Ha, ha, ha. Now what?
You know, evil is very difficult to kill.
Manson has it all. It has glamour and movie stars.
Manson's goal in life was to become a bigger rock star than the Beatles.
You flatter me with all your attention.
I never told anybody to do anything other than what they wanted to do.
And if they wanted to do murder,
That's none of my business, woman. I'm not a Sunday school teacher.
Everybody likes that evil character they created, you know that guy with the eyes.
The door opened, and Charlie Manson looked up at me and said, "You can't leave the group."
Have a good day.
The Family Manson, next Friday at a special time, 9/8 Central on ABC.
This is really going to be fascinating. It's a 2-hour event next Friday starting at 9 Eastern. We'll see you then. In the meantime, thanks for watching tonight. I'm David Muir.
And I'm Elizabeth Vargas. From all of us here at 2020 and ABC News, have a great night and a great weekend.
It's going to be explosive. Dancing premieres live Monday, March 20th on ABC.
Looking for some late night laughs?
You look so good in that hair.
Then Kimmel's your guy.
Feeling that it's going to be a real good night.
I think we have a party. Jimmy Kimmel Live tonight on ABC.